RMN. It's the talk of the town. So come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
And we are back. Deano's Night Out, right here, WRMN in Studio 14. Got a great guest. His name is Nick. Nick is from the Fringe Fest. We also got Matt, although he's not pictured right now, but Dennis was able to get my camera all fixed up. So let's go back and we're going to talk to Nick while Matt's absent. And we didn't get all the way through our list, what's playing for today. So I'm going to go ahead and read some of those names again, or some of the acts rather. But the one that's kind of cool is Late Night Morning Show. But Mr. Modest, he didn't want to talk about how he's in it. So Nick, you're in that show.
I am, along with a very good cast of improvisers.
Okay. Well, just a brief little, what's the show about?
So like
Can you tell us?
It's a morning show. It's a morning news show, but in the guise of that we're recording it the night before because we're not very good at our jobs as morning newscasters. And so there are different segments like weather and sports and an advice section and stuff like that. And it's all improvised. So we're making it up as we go. So we have no idea what's going to happen.
I like that.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So we're going to go to 10:30. 10:30, you've got Bay Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Miller Conspiracy.
Yeah.
And that's a PG-13, but go ahead.
Yep. At the Elgin Public House. That one is an interesting take. It's a one-person show that takes place basically in a police interview. So he's the person performing is being interviewed by an audio of a police officer questioning him, and it's about like downstate Illinois crime families. It's very interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. Yeah. And you've got Cracks by Claire Lockmuller.
Yes.
And that's at the SSSA Theater. So go ahead.
And that one's a great show about an individual and their journey to embrace who they are as a person through their life and growing up. And what's interesting is that Claire is here in Elgin for the first time. But part of her journey was going to Marmion Academy in North Aurora, and so that was a little bit of a surprise that I found out in her tech rehearsal when she mentioned Marmion Academy. I was like, oh wow, that's cool,
neat.
Yeah.
And then at the Showcase Theater, we've got Jonathan James doing Gods, a musical rampage.
Yeah, and so this is a preview of a brand new play that's going to be going up at some point. So it's a preview of the first half of the play.
Is it multiples or one man play?
It's multiple actors.
Okay.
So they're giving you a full preview. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then over at the Martini Room, we have Jared McLeod as Jared McLeod.
Yep.
Stand-up comedian.
Music.
Oh, music.
Music. Yeah. Jared is a musician.
Okay.
I believe Matt interviewed Jared at one point.
Did you interview Jared, Matt?
Jared McLeod?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so he is doing
Since you decided to join us
Yes,
again.
I know. I was working on something.
Yeah.
In the back.
I know. We're all doing that. Go ahead.
So he has quite the experience when it comes to being in the industry of music and playing music and singing and all that stuff too. So from what I can remember, I don't have my phone with me. Sonar took it for a sec. I had some notes, but I know that he is playing at the Martini Room. He's never been there before. I told him, not only is it a great place to play, but get the espresso martini if you haven't. And he said, yes, I'm going to try to do that. So,
very good.
But
Drink tips included. How you like that?
There you go. Yeah. So he's had quite the experience. There's a lot that you can find on Jared online. I had mentioned a little earlier that, he's it said, in the past, he was a pretty harsh critic on himself and how he would, do his performances. He'd let a lot of things bother him like that, which I'm kind of the same way too. But then, of course, that's part of his personality, and that's what makes the show unique also. And so.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then Night Moose.
Night Moose is another local improv group. In fact, they perform at the Arcada a lot. But they're just a great local long form improv group. They're going to be performing their signature style, which is called the Moose
At the Habitat for Humanity.
at Habitat for Humanity.
Beautiful. And then the last one for the evening, which is Windy, actually not for the evening because 10:30, they're all going off at the same time. Windy City Weekend with House Ablaze.
Yep.
And that's a burlesque show over at SSSA Backspace.
Correct. Yeah. So that's House of Blaze has been with us, I think, 3 or 4 years now, performing burlesque, and they're back this year at the Backspace, and they always bring a great group of local burlesque performers. It's great. They run their own classes. They have burlesque classes that they offer. So if you're interested in learning to dance burlesque, you can take classes with House of Blaze, and then they showcase all of these great folks who've learned how to do burlesque.
Now, he looked at me and laughed. Did you see that, Matt?
He
looked right at me.
You too could learn to dance burlesque.
Yeah, he looked right
That'd
at
be
me
fun.
and like
That would be a lot of
snickered.
fun.
I guess I could give it a try. I don't know. Hell,
I might try it.
I'd try just about anything. Just about anything. All right. Well, listen, you get a good chance to see some of these shows in advance, right? Some practice shows or what have you.
Yeah. So a lot of the shows run tech rehearsals during the week, and so I sit in at least for a little bit of time during each tech rehearsal when I can. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask you to tell me which one do you think is better than the other
I wouldn't tell you.
because it's not fair.
Right.
Number one.
Yeah.
But number two, one is probably better than the other, and in its own way, it's a different show.
Right.
So how can you put them all together? How many shows again? What do you got?
35.
35 shows. That means 35 performances of the same shows, or 35 separate shows?
35 different shows with multiple performances. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot.
That's a real lot.
Yeah.
So, and you got all these different styles of artistry.
Yes.
How do you identify which one's the best?
Right. And
Do they do that now at the end of the Fringe Fest? Is there like a standout performer?
we do an audience vote. So the audience, we have QR codes at every venue, and everybody can scan a QR code and leave a review and vote for their favorite show of the festival. And that is one of the awards we give out at the end of the festival is the audience favorite award.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, anybody, if you just go to one show, for instance, you know, you're my cousin, so I'm going to your show.
Sure.
And I just put your name down.
Yeah, you could win based on that. It doesn't usually happen that way, but that is
No,
a
I'm just
possibility.
saying. So
Yeah.
it's not as if they have to view all the show.
No, that would be impossible. I mean,
Not even all the shows, but
it'd be impossible to see all the shows. It literally is. I can't do it, and I go to see every show I can.
well, you have the at least the beauty of being able to see the practice performances.
Yes.
But what sticks out? Anything sticking out that you can't wait to see?
Man, that's a hard question.
Just based on the name of the show, not necessarily
There's-
what you've seen.
There's nothing I'm not looking forward to seeing, I guess is the way to put it. I like one of the things I do during the festival is I try to stay open and really just let myself experience the shows because I never know what's going to hit me. I have my preferences, but at the same time, this festival specifically has a way of making me feel like a fool for having those preferences. And that's kind of incredible.
Yeah. Well, me, I like to be I like to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like my daughter just went to that Fright Fest.
Oh,
over at
yeah?
Six Flags. Yeah.
Oh, fun. I went when I was a very little kid. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
at the
and
time.
I
was so young.
I can't imagine paying the money that they charge for those tickets to have the heck scared out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's just not my thing. Now I know there's people that like that. I dig the theatrics of it all, what it takes to, get the makeup and all the thing like that. But to go to be scared, that's not me. I like to go to a nice show. I got to be honest, yours really intrigues me because
you.
it's the morning show, and I'm a big fan of WGN, WGN News, and then what we do here. So maybe there's a parallel there. So that's why when I heard that name, I said, well, you know what? And I had no idea because Mr. Modest, I didn't even know you were in that show.
I mean, I'm barely in it. There are so many
You're in
other
it.
people. I'm not even the director of the show, so it's a fun show. I enjoy performing in it, but it's more about the other performers than it is about me.
It's always that way, right?
Yeah,
Because that's the way you are,
it's the way it should be.
as it should be. No, but you are. You're the in charge of the whole program, and I like the way every time we have you on, you do have that nice humble attitude where it's like you can't wait to see what's going to come up next, you know? And,
Yeah.
and it's never about you. It's not like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's the company's doing this. We're all doing that. And I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's important. As somebody who's running a festival, that people put their hearts and souls into their individual pieces. Like for me to make it about me is not right. But also as an improviser, it's the idea of with improv, you have to throw out your ego.
Yeah.
Because it's about what you build with the people on stage with you, not what you build by yourself.
Are you marking down these notes, Matt, about putting your ego to the side?
Oh, me? Oh, stop.
I just like to mess with Matt. So, Matt, like you saw the list of the different shows.
Yeah.
Which one are you kind of looking forward to?
Oh my goodness, the creature feature.
Yeah,
Sounds pretty good because I interviewed Stephen Pickering. He came into the station here, and he's a very well experienced actor, and he's also doing the directing, and so that's pretty exciting there too. And he's a fun guy. He's a very personable, fun guy. And I remember one of the questions I asked him, I said was, you know, is there anything in particular when it comes to acting that you discovered about yourself and your own personality that you never discovered before? And he goes, well, to be honest, for most of my time, I didn't even really know what my personality was because I had done acting for so long. So, you know, I thought that was kind of an interesting thing that he had
what a
said.
fair statement that is. I mean, that's when you're an actor, who are you? You know, you're so sometimes, enthralled in learning all about this topic, person, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
What is your real character?
Yeah. If you're used to doing acting, you're playing a bunch of different characters or you're directing, and especially when you do it for a long time, sometimes you can think to yourself, now who am I as a person? Because I'm so used to doing acting and I'm able to make myself become this character, but who am I? And so those kind of questions can be tedious at time to ask, but I'm sure there have been many shows that do particularly ask those questions on who am I, who do I want to become, and that's what a show could be about. And so, I mean, there's a lot of that. So.
Yeah, and their own personal expression,
Right,
is what makes it unique, which is what the whole Fringe Fest is all about.
Yep.
yeah.
So, what other questions did you have for Nick before?
Well, I want to go a little bit back in time and ask you, what got you interested in acting and directing? And, did it start when you were really young? Was it an influence from your parents, or was it from school or friends? What kind of got you interested in this?
So this is going to show my age a little bit, but when I was young, when Comedy Central first came out as a channel on television, they would play the original British Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh yeah,
like the real old ones, and I absolutely fell in love with that show. So I discovered that, and then I started watching like the old 1970s SNL episodes because they were playing those as well at that time on Comedy Central. And at some point as a child, I told myself I want to grow up to be Bill Murray. Which is not somebody like Bill Murray, but I wanted to grow up to be Bill Murray, which is the weirdest thing a child could think. So I always wanted to do that, and I've done a few things in life. I didn't go to college for theater or anything, but then kind of late 20s, early 30s, I was like, I've always wanted to do improv. I always wanted to perform, and I had never really taken that step to do it. And so I finally just was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And so I started taking improv classes and just kind of went from there, started doing plays, took more classes, learned how to write sketch comedy, things like that. And so it became a thing. And then getting into producing was just like the next step, where it was like, I want to make these things and nobody else is going to make them if I don't. And so it just kind of happened. And so then that brought me to producing a show at the Elgin Fringe and going, this is a cool thing, to producing more shows at the Elgin Fringe, to eventually starting to work for the Fringe. And that's how I got here.
Very cool. Now, how long have you been with the Elgin Fringe Fest?
Since 2020, the end of 2019. The first Fringe Festival I was working on was the 2020 festival when COVID happened, and so we had to go virtual. So it was, welcome on board. The sky is falling, and trying to navigate that time, and adjust on the fly, and every week having a different strategy to kind of figure out how we could still have a festival. So it was a real trial by fire that year.
Good. Now, as a director, have you ever come across a specific act where they're in the process of getting ready for their performance, or they're kind of in the, I guess, the night before, and something isn't working right with their show? They're like, I don't know, this isn't really working. And then, have you ever given a suggestion to them before the show starts on what to do, and then it kind of blends in with the show?
That's a good question. I try not to freely give my opinion on things, right? I don't. Some people ask for advice if they need it. It's more like fitting the show into the space. That kind of happens. But I don't go around being like, oh, you should do this. I might, after the festival, go, you should take this show to other festivals. But I try to let the artists kind of figure those things out on their own. And a lot of times they do, or we can have discussions if they want to have a discussion about it. But a lot of that time is just kind of figuring things out. And it's usually small details like the minutia. It's not, by the time they're here, they know what their show is or what they want their show to be. And so they've got kind of more of that idea. And so I've never had to really like go, oh, you should do this instead. It might be like, oh, maybe you should move the chair over here. And they're like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. And they move the chair over there. Things like that, the small stuff happens, but it's never like me going, oh, you really need to change this into this.
Yeah.
But with your background, people would be, are they more to ask you the question and then will you offer? Or do you like, hey man, this is your show? Or do you try to help them if they're looking for the help?
So if they ask for help, I'm more than happy to help. It's kind of weird. So I was a high school teacher for a long time, and I was very much a teacher who was like, I need you to figure this out on your own if you can, because you're going to remember how to do it better that way. And so
you're one of those guys, you don't know how to spell a word, go get the dictionary.
Right. I'm like,
if I knew how to spell the word, I'd find it in the dictionary.
I would have students who'd ask me a question, and I would respond to their question with a question to try to get them to figure it out.
Right.
It was never a, well, then you're going to fail kind of thing. It was, I want to see you try this and figure it out. And if you can, that's great. If I do need to help you, I will. But I take that into everything I do, and I want to see people kind of gain that traction, because it helps create that ability to be a better show producer by being able to figure out those problems on your own by problem solving. Obviously, I don't want any shows to fail. I don't want any shows to be a disaster if they don't have to be. But I'm also not going to be like telling people what to do. It's more of if you need me to help guide you, that's fine. I will. I'll help you out. But I need to know that you feel you need it, because I don't want to step on toes.
Yeah, and if someone has a path, you could be getting them into the wrong path with your suggestion.
Right.
Because you don't have all the information.
Exactly. Yeah.
So to give quick advice like, well, do you think I should do this or that? Well, where are you going with it first?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's coaching is good.
Right.
And coaching is great. But I think maybe that boost of confidence and say, well, what do you think it needs to be done?
Yeah.
And what are you questioning?
And a lot of times when people ask a question like that, they just need somebody to say the thing they're already thinking.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah. They want that little vote of confidence.
Right.
So you've done obviously the acting, you've done directing and producing. Producing and directing are two separate different things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But explain what the differences are for people who really don't understand.
So directing is the actual like laying out and designing of the show, right? Whether it's a written piece or not, they're the one that has the vision of what it's going to look like on stage. Whereas the producer is the person that is making sure that it's being promoted and it has a space to perform in and ticket sales are up and all of this, the behind the scenes stuff. That's the job of the producer. And so I've done
making all the
those.
contacts and
trying to make sure that audience will show up to a show, those kind of things.
Which do you prefer?
Directing. I think anybody that says they prefer producing is probably a masochist.
That's gotta be
it's a brutal job.
Because I lay all my producing right on top of Matt, and he gets it all done for me, 1, 2, 3. But he's got a knack. He's very organized. He's got a nice, method to the way he does it. Very methodical.
Sure.
So I take my hat off to anybody that produces Dennis, the same thing. Of course, Dennis teaches a school, so it's interesting. Yeah, I figured you would like the directing a little better. You have more control of one specific thing, and you don't have to worry. Even though you have control of everything as a producer, your responsibility is just to worry about one good thing.
Well, and the beauty of directing is it's about vision and seeing something as a whole, right? And I think that's something that people don't think about when they think about directing. They think about, finding those little details in something. But directing it's more about what is this going to look like as a whole thing, right? How do we go from point A to point B, point C, and make sure that it all feels like it's part of the same
It's
thing?
that mind canvas that you're putting out for everybody else.
Yep.
And then you may have I would think as a director, you may have a plan of what you really want to see, but then as it plays out or someone even makes a misstep or something, it's like, you know what, that fits a little bit better.
Yeah, and then those adjustments are super important, and that goes back to improv and the idea of, if something happens, it's a gift, and you take it and you work with it.
But and that's improv, but I think it speaks more for what appears to be the type of person you are. You're inclusive.
I try to be.
You're not, it's not yes or no. It's all right, let's see how we can make that work. And, you try and blend it.
Yeah, I mean, well, and we don't really live in a binary world in the sense that there's only one way of doing things, and so being open to the different paths that you can take is important.
Yeah, I like working that way. I like that comfortable feeling where everyone has a voice, but not towards too much of a voice. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I got it. Let's see if we can incorporate it. But then, do you want to be the director? That's what you ask them at that point.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you know what? We're a couple of minutes away to the bottom of the hour. Let's talk about, once again, 15 is the address. And if people want to get their tickets, they can get passes for, today is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep.
It's a group pass you have out. If you just want to get tickets for the particular shows, do they have to go to your place and get the tickets?
Yes, they need to go to Fringe Central to pick up tickets, 15 Ziegler Court. And the reason we do that is because then we make sure you're prepared, right? We make sure you have your ticket, your button, everything to go with it. We have programs there so you can see other shows that are available. And it's also a place where a lot of the artists hang out between shows. And so you can meet artists there. You can kind of chit-chat with them, hang out, have a good time, see art. It's a great spot.
Nice. Yeah, not only the art on the wall, but you're getting to meet the performers, which is a neat thing. So going to your place again, that's 15, what's the name of the street?
Ziegler Court.
Ziegler Court. I knew I'd get it. All right, listen, we got Nick in the studio here, Nick Mataragas, and just a great conversation about this year's 2025 Elgin Fringe Fest Festival. So it's going to be a really big show. I don't think you're going to want to miss it. I think that this is something that's an experience you have to dive into. So I don't know if it's going to be tonight, Saturday, or Sunday, but I'm going to get out there. I'm hoping to catch that morning show act.
Great.
That's my hope. So hey, we'll be back in just a little bit. This is Dino's Night Out, right here at 14 Douglas, Studio 14. Nick Mataragas and Matt McNeil in studio with us. We'll be back very shortly. Thank you. And we are back. We're talking Fringe Fest. We're talking with Nick. But the reason why I'm delayed over here is that darn Dalton. Dalton's asking me this and asking me that, throwing my timing off when I'm trying to have a nice conversation with Nick Mataragas. And Nick Mataragas is the producer for the Elgin Fringe Festival 2025. And he's been doing this now since 2019, 2020, the COVID days. So talk about a challenge. Could you imagine having to do this and coordinate everybody through, what do you call it?
Through the virtual, virtual festival,
stuff? Yeah, that would really be something.
It was interesting because it was a lot of artists who didn't know much about video recording, and trying to record shows. So it was a wild time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh. So we were walking down the path of who you got performing, when, and where. I know we did Friday. Saturday is pretty much a mirror of Friday, from what I'm looking at.
There are a few shows that are coming in on Saturday. I think that we won't have had until then. I believe Ambo Dance Theater has their show Mimi debuting on Saturday.
Okay.
Which is going to be a really interesting piece about a woman's journey through life and different takes on that, but through dance. And they're a really great group. They do some really interesting stuff. With
And
dance.
things open up at 11 a.m., I'm seeing. Is
On
that
Saturday,
correct?
yes. And then our first performance, I believe, is at 3.
3 p.m.
Yeah, Saturday's our long day. It goes all day long.
All day.
Yeah, so Ambo, I think, starts then, I believe, on
You
Saturday.
got
also.
Appalachian, you got the expiration date, how to get appointments by telephone,
Yep.
comedy, I assume, short showcase,
Yes.
which has got the three folks, creature feature, unpredictable and unforgettable improv, and vintage tunes, modern gal.
Yeah.
4:30, we go right into Hall Pass. And then we got Short Show Showcase, which is the amazing adventures of two NBs. We got Different Every Time. And then we have streaming useless through streaming useless thought machine. That was definitely thoughtless there. Okay. And then at 6 o'clock, we have the comedy dance from Chicago. We got Night Moose Improv, Percolate. And then we have timey-wimey stuff. The midlife crisis of a time-traveling space archaeologist. And that was the one that Dennis interviewed, Victoria Mantovano. And 7:30 p.m., live from the shallow end of the gene pool, it's Mobius Theater. Is that the right way to say that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Then we have The Pheasant Story, and that's the Meantime Chronicles. PG-13, a role-playing and improv comedy. That's also at 7:30. And then the Trust Exercises, kind of a play on the words. And we also have Windy City Weekend with House Ablaze. That's your 7:30 shows. 9 o'clock, we got Kefiando, show the stand-up comedy in Espanol. And we got Cracks, Break Your Mother's Back, and then it's the expiration date. And then we got Gods, which is a musical rampage. Mick Garankle, is that it?
McGarnacle.
McGarnacle. And then we got Mimi. That's an Ambo Dance Theater. 10:30, the last show of the Saturday. Fringe Fest is not left of the Fringe Fest, but for Saturday is Almost Closing Party.
Yep, and that's actually not a show; it's a party.
Oh, it's a party.
Yeah, it's something we started a few years back. And Saturday's such a long day.
I
and
bet it is.
We're 3/4 of the way through the festival by the end of Saturday, and so we decided that instead of having a 10:30 show at any of the venues, we would have a party where people could just come and hang out and decompress from the festival, and just take a real quick breath before that last day of Sunday. So you get all of the technicians and the artists and all the staff and volunteers. They all get together. We hang out at the public house.
And guests, the people that have attended.
Anybody with a fringe button can come. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we just kind of relax and unwind. And it goes back to this kind of weird tradition of performers who a lot of times at the end of the night, and this was back when things were still open 24 hours,
Sure.
would go to like a 24-hour diner after shows and just drink coffee and decompress and just have a time to take space to relax and be like, okay, that happened.
Get a little pat on the back here and there
Right.
for your performance.
Yeah, and just
And
kind
that
of
means
chill.
a lot, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it totally means a lot. It's something that I always loved when I was performing more regularly. I would do a show at 10 o'clock, and then at midnight we'd go to like an IHOP or a Denny's and just sit there and be. And so that's the idea behind that party, and then gives us a little bit more energy to come back in Sunday and finish off the festival strong.
Yeah, that's nice. And then on Sunday, everything starts again at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And 11 o'clock obviously starts over to the gallery, which is 15
Ziegler Court.
Ziegler Court. Why? Some things just, they escape me. Can I tell you? 1 o'clock, we got Bay Creek. Then we have Cracks. We have the expiration date. We have a role-playing and improv comedy show. And then we have Short Show Showcase A, which is creature feature, unpredictable and unforgettable improv, vintage tunes, modern gal. 2:30, Appalachian Songcatcher, Ed Sid, Canto Instrumental. You're going to have to help me with that. Reparestre ya Alago Mas.
Yeah. Once again, my Spanish is terrible, so I couldn't tell you exactly what that means, but
My German is much better.
fair enough. My Greek is much better as well.
And I don't speak neither.
Fair
But
enough.
it's definitely better than my. I can speak Spanish, but I'm not supposed to say those words on the FCC. Will kill us.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
And then we got Gods, a musical rampage. That's got to be a good one.
I'm hoping so. I haven't seen it yet.
That
So.
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then we've got
McGarnagle.
Thank you. You know, Nick's giving me all these little tips. I love it. And he does it real nice. Every time Matt corrects me, it's like, all right, stop the show. Dean, you got to say it this way. You know, thanks, Nick. You're a little bit more on the subtle
What
side.
can I say?
Yeah, I know.
So yours is a
Perfectionist.
teacher.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And we got Mimi. That's Ambo Dance Theater. And that's, again, 2:30. We're only at 2:30. And then we got Pajama Stories for Adults. And that's the one you were explaining. There's several different pajamas on the wall with the audience picks. She goes into a story. Marie Cooney. Okay. 4 o'clock, Jared McLeod. Live from the shallow end of the gene pool. It's Mobius Theater. And then we got Night Moose Improv, Percolate, The Pheasant Story, and then Timey Whiny Stuff. The Midlife Crisis of a Time-Traveling Space Archaeologist. Maybe that midlife crisis stuff I got to check out. I don't know. And then you close everything again with the big party that everyone is invited to at 5 p.m. And this one will be at the Martini Room.
Yep, we will give out our awards. We'll toast the festival, and we take what we call our family photo, which is everybody that's involved gets together in one big group photo. And we save those every year and put them up on the wall.
That's great, isn't it?
It's an amazing time, and it's always a very surreal moment when you close the festival.
So does this have like a what do you want to call it? Saturday Night Live type feeling, all these acts together?
Oh, at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it does a little bit. Like it's because people are, some people have met for the first time at the festival, but they've made great friends, and it's about keeping in touch and travel safe and all of these things. And so it's like it's like that last part of SNL when everybody's on the stage. It definitely feels that way, where it's like commiserating and
I can see that.
moving on, and
And
great.
a lot of the acts that come repeating, and I would imagine, do they do some of these acts like after the Fringe is over? Do they continue these acts like maybe at nightclubs or whatever?
Sometimes, yeah. I think that's one of the beautiful things about Fringe festivals is because they're hotbeds for experimentation. Is a lot of times these shows become shows that go beyond Fringe, right? Okay. They can be made into bigger stage plays. That show Halvesies that I talked about, we're taking those scripts and making them into actual full stage plays now. Our little group is. So that's the kind of thing that can happen, right? So you can see something at Fringe that later becomes something much bigger. In fact, the couple of examples that I know off the top of my head, the show Fleabag, that the creator of that show started at the Edinburgh Fringe. Also, the show Taskmaster started at Fringe festivals as well. So, like, you can go pretty far with a starting point of a Fringe festival.
And this is like, I imagine you make some friends with some people here, and it's kind of like, at the very least, once a year, you're getting to see everybody in most cases, or do you keep touch with a lot of the people?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mean you personal, but I mean as a performer.
Yeah, you do, and it's especially in this era of social media, like it's that interconnectivity matters even more, because not only are you making friends with people who live all over the world, but it's also those connections and going, hey, I want to be in your town, and we can hang out and we can learn, or I'm going to go to the Fringe Festival that's local to you. can you give me any pointers? So like there's obviously real emotional human connection, but then there's also the professional connections that happen as well at the same time. And so that's kind of a beautiful thing.
Well, sure.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If can you put the picture up again, Dean? It's the one of the Side Street Studio Arts in front. I love the painting that's done out there on the windows. It says tickets, info, and merch. So do you know who did that? Was that
So that was a few years back. That one was done by Catherine Eli, who she does a lot of the window painting in downtown Elgin. So you've probably seen her work just walking around. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's fantastic.
cool?
This is a good window painter. It's Tom upstairs.
Oh yes, he sure is.
He's got a lot of talent, that Tom.
So very cool. That was something. I had another question too. I wanted to ask you about the individual shows in between. So how much time do acts have to get ready in between each shows?
This is one of the challenges is because the schedule is half an hour breaks between each show. That means that you have 10 minutes to take for the last show to load out, and then 10 minutes for the next show to load in, and then 10 minutes for the audience to be seated. So it's literally 10, 10, 10, and then the show starts.
Okay.
And so that half an hour is real tight.
Do you clear the room?
We have to clear the room because it's all individual tickets. So even if you just saw that show, you'd have to have tickets for the next show to be able to stay in the room.
Okay. So that's definitely something to work through. Has there ever been a time where a person's been, let's say, on like too long, and then what do you kind of do in that situation?
That's called overrunning or running over. That's one of those things where we are very clear with our artists, like, you can't run over because it eats into the next person's time. And it's hard because as the festival coordinator, if this show runs over and another show starts late, that means the next show will start late, and the next show will start late. It cascades. Yeah. And so it's, and the artists are focused on their show and making their show the best it is, so they don't get to see that big picture like I have to. And so we're a little bit strict about that. We've got some policies in place to make sure that shows don't run too long. And to be fair, most of the time they don't. We don't usually have that problem, but we do have to be aware of it.
Now, what happens if, say, a performer isn't able to make it in case of an emergency? What do you have for the fill time?
Well, the beautiful thing is that we can have a show cancel, and there are many other shows happening at the same time as well at different venues, and so that gap usually doesn't hurt too much. Obviously, if it happens earlier in the time period, that's when we can hit that wait list and bring in another show, which we do. But you've got
performers waiting, just in case something like that. Oh, that's sharp.
But then, within the last few weeks, if a show backs out for some sort of reason, which we've actually had a couple this year due to personal reasons or whatever. I mean, life happens. Those spots kind of just go open. But like I said, because of the way the festival is built, there's other shows happening during those time slots, so it's not that big of a deal.
But maybe, Matt, I don't know if that was the exact question.
Sure. I might have completely missed the question.
It's okay. I get a phone call 10 minutes before so-and-so just got in a car accident. I can't do the show. You know what I mean? Hey, listen,
knock on
Nick.
wood.
God forbid.
Yeah.
But what do you do then? Do you have someone that can immediately fill in?
No.
Is that what you were asking?
That was what I was asking.
Okay,
I thought so.
An immediate need. No, we would offer to move the people that have tickets for that show into another show that's happening at that time. Give them that opportunity to go, okay, look, sorry, this isn't happening. There was an emergency.
Because some shows are quite a duration. I mean,
no show can be longer than 60 minutes at our festival. So that's one of the nice things about that. But yeah, it's about making sure that we can give the audience a chance to see something that hopefully is not what they were expecting, but something else that would hopefully give them the satisfaction of having seen something.
Well, you've never seen the Matt and Dean show.
That's
so if
fair.
You get stuck or something happens, all you got to do is give one of us a call. We'll be in the area.
That's what was happening. Was you were like, hey, I'll jump in.
That's what we were kind of alluding to. Like,
I'll tell you what, if Burlesque,
you need a pinch hitter, just give us a call.
If Burlesque cancels tonight or tomorrow, I'll call you guys, have you come out and dance. It's great.
Yeah, give me time to shave though.
Why? Why would you need to shave?
I guess you're right on that too.
I mean, also, I'm obviously not the person to talk to about shaving.
Yeah, I get it. No, I mean it's just curious to know because you look at your schedule, it is tight. I mean, you have such precision, and that's nice. You know how we do it over here if someone runs over or we don't want to hear them or they're saying the wrong thing, go ahead, try and talk. Yeah, nobody's got you, see? So I imagine you could do the same thing there, or the old vaudeville days, get yourself a big cane.
Oh man, yeah. I
That's
want
what you
I want a
gotta do.
giant hook. That'd
Yeah, get
that'd
the
be
hook,
great.
hook them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure if they do it 5 minutes here or there, if it has to be, even though you frown on it, I'm sure, but you can make it up in that takedown and set up time.
Yeah, and we don't like we could cut mics. We can turn the lights off on people. We don't want to do that kind of thing if we don't have to. Usually, if somebody runs over a little bit on a show, we'll have somebody talk to them, be like, "Hey, next performance, we really need you to be within that hour time slot."
Yeah.
Well, something with the elements of each show too is it does say the rating. So if it's rated R, you know that it's going to be a little bit more raunchy or maybe PG-13. There's going to be certain words that are going to be used. So that's also a way to get people prepared to know what to possibly expect within a specific performance.
Yeah,
also.
and the artists provide that for us. They provide a rating. They provide any trigger warnings, as well as a show description, and so it does definitely help the audiences decide what they can bring, what they can see, what they can bring their families to, all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
You know, in today's world, you got to be so cautious on, you know, if you have a loud noise in your act, you really need to disclose that today because there's so many people that are affected. You know, not to mention your PTSD guys, but
Right.
if there's something that's a shock and all of a sudden it's loud noise, now what? Now
Yeah, I mean, you don't want someone having
You wanna
a
disclose
panic
it.
attack or a heart attack or anything during your show. I mean, nobody wants that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And you have such diversity to the Fringe Fest. I think it's important that, why wouldn't you? You got to let people know what your show's about. You can
Yeah.
only see so many previews as people are, you know, practicing and what have you.
Right.
So do they get the opportunity to practice at the location that they're going to perform at so they know size of the stage and everything?
Yeah, so they get to have a tech rehearsal earlier in the week, or we have a couple that are happening today and tomorrow before the shows. And it gives them a chance to get into the space, see the space, get a feel for it, and also work with their venue technician to figure out lighting and sound stuff so that it's ready for showtime.
Acoustics, everything makes
All of
a
that,
difference. Yeah. Wow. See, people don't realize that, but you as a producer,
Yeah,
you focus on all of that.
I got to focus on all of it, which means I'm not focused on anything.
That's okay. What's the hardest part for you as the producer of the Fringe Fest? What's the most difficult hurdle that you have to jump over?
That's a good question. That's the
three.
third one. Yeah, third one.
Those of you playing the home game.
For me, it's actually just giving myself the space to breathe.
Yeah.
Especially during the festival or in the run up to the festival, it becomes very rapid and very needy, right? It's a monster. The festival is a big rolling monster running down a hill, collecting trees and detritus as it goes, and you sometimes you lose the fact that you can step away from the monster for a minute and take a breath. And so I think as a festival producer, that's the hardest part, is going, I don't have to do this right now. I can take a breath, take a break, and come back to it. And it'll be a little bit further down the hill, but it's still going to be going. Yeah, it's that I can worry, but I also need to have that personal time as well.
The little solitude of, okay, like you say, only I know that anyhow. So let me take a breath and let's address the problem, the situation. And it all works out most of the time, doesn't it?
Most of the time they don't see, the actual Oz behind the curtain. They just see the big head.
Yeah, there you go.
How do you unwind after all of this performance every year?
Sleep.
You you just sleep?
Sleep.
Yeah.
It's sleep. That's the way to unwind.
Yeah.
And then the next day, start thinking about the next festival.
Yeah. It's a lot to prepare for, but you've got such a great area. You have so many people that are working with you. Side Street Studio Arts. I mean, Habitat for Humanity. I know the space is a pretty large space in there, so that works very well.
It's great, and all of our venues are donated spaces, so they're really our sponsors to the festival. Habitat Humanity, Elgin Art Showcase, Martini Room, Elgin Public House, Side Street Studio Arts. This festival doesn't happen without them, without their support and their ability to go, this is something that matters here in downtown Elgin. And so it really does not happen without them and without the volunteers and the staff and the tax and the artists and obviously the audiences, because if the audiences don't show up, there's no festival.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I imagine the city is involved with everything.
Yes. The Cultural Arts Commission.
The police know,
Yeah.
the fire know you're there.
Yep.
So this way, if something does happen, tips off, they know what to expect
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Knock on wood, nothing happens.
Wow, that's great.
Yep.
Now, you know what? Recapping, we got, if somebody wants to reach, it's elginfringefestival.com.
Yep.
And that just happens to be 2025. But hey, if you have any questions, we've offered you to call, but you didn't. 847-931-1410. But the real guy that you want to talk to, and you see him right in front of us here right now, but it's this guy here, Nick.
Yep.
Nick Mataragas.
Those
And
lovely, non-embarrassing photos of me. It's great.
I wouldn't be embarrassed. That's that neat. That's that neat thing you did.
No, it is. It was a fun time.
Yeah, and It's a Terrible Life. What was that one?
That was an improv show we did, a holiday improv show based off of It's a Wonderful Life, but with the idea that George Bailey sees that the world is better without him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very uplifting.
No, I can see that. No, you know what, Nick? I can't thank you enough for coming in here. Look, did we time that perfect, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Matt was giving me the eyeballs like, hey, come on, let's go, let's go. But we got this timed. I didn't need Matt's signal. I want to thank you very much, Nick, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you have the hugest success at 2025 Elgin Fringe Fest. Folks, you don't want to miss it. 15 Ziegler Court. You can get all the tickets. You see, I said Ziegler Court the right way. And I had 3 good questions. Listen, this is me, Deano, from Deano's Night Out. And the great guests we had in here today in studio. You can't beat these 2 guys to work with. Matt McNeil, and again, Nick Mataragas, producer, and Big Cheese in charge of the Elgin Fringe Fest. Thank you very much, folks. And hey, you're going to want to see Deano's Night Out next week. We appreciate you listening. And again, have a great day.